This video is one of them spicy ones, but only because the subject matter in it. This usually gets the people that follow me and people in a whole split into two different groups, and you'll know it as pro-life and pro-choice. But I came across something that I had no idea about until I looked up a 6-minute video on YouTube last night, and it was absolutely horrifying. I'm gonna not show y'all the images that it actually displays on the video, but I am gonna show y'all parts of it, and then we're gonna talk about it. Check it out.
Our story concerns abortion and began, strangely enough, in this relatively peaceful suburb of Los Angeles. Malvin Weisberg, a pathologist, owned a large storage container which he kept in his backyard. When he failed to make the final 2 payments, it was repossessed.
We made a decision to repossess it because his check did not clear the bank, and so we sent the truck out to pick up the container.
I rolled out there and took the box up and started pulling it up, and it was so heavy, it just it broke the winch.
And we couldn't get it off the trailer, so we had to leave it on the trailer because it was too heavy. So I was asked by Nick to have a crew go down and unload the container at the other yard.
I got a radio call that from Ron Gillette, the foreman, and he said the men were throwing up and there was something really wrong.
One of them fell down and hit me right in front of my feet. And it was opened up, and there it was. It was a mutilated body. And the more closer I looked at it, it was a human body.
And when I came to work the following day, I saw it myself. I couldn't believe it. And just little bitty babies, just all torn to pieces. Their heads chopped off, arms, legs, it just makes you sick to see something like that. Well, really, it's just, it makes you want to cry when you see something like that.
Starting at the very front of this container, it was just wall clear to the ceiling and clear to the sides, filled with them.
I really don't want to witness it again. Not what I saw.
Well, as the supervisor for the County of Los Angeles, we found out through the media that 17,000 infants had been stored in a container. So we asked for an investigation by the district attorney and the coroner's office. We found approximately 190 were over 20 weeks of age. I think some as old as 25, 27 weeks.
Mr. Antonovich contacted Mr. Gutierrez.
Glenn Wong is a funeral director for a major Los Angeles mortuary.
Ask us to go ahead and handle the burial of the fetuses. How I came involved was they were asking if it were possible to have anyone photograph these fetuses, and I so happened to be also a photographer.
How many fetuses were actually involved in the autopsies?
There were approximately about 44, if I'm correct. And some of these fetuses, and believe me, they were apart. There were some where the eyes were bulging and some where the chest cavity was ripped open. I do remember one was where I saw a hand and a feet all apart. So it was kind of like the hands were intact, the feet were intact, and everything else was more like just a little potpourri, a little of everything. And that was it. That kind of turned me.
Here we see the abortionist stretching the cervix very wide open.
Dr. John Wilkie, who with his wife Barbara authored The Handbook on Abortion, described the dilation and extraction method used to abort many of the fetuses.
That without any anesthetic, the abortionist reaches up into the womb and seizes part of the body of the baby, usually a leg or an arm, twisting and tearing, tears it off and away from the body of the baby. The baby, feeling pain, does not have any anesthetic. Bleeding is extreme. The abortionist returns in there with this grasping pliers-like instrument, tearing more parts of the body away, snapping the spine, and finally the mechanical problem is to get the skull out, and so he usually has to crush the skull in order to bring it out.
We had a court order that would allow us to bury these infants, being a humane act. And the ACLU comes in again saying that this is just tissue. We want to incinerate them, and there's no need for a burial. Because if you had a burial, somehow that's going to create a problem. problem for whom?
And at that time, I think everybody there realized this was wrong, that it was really wrong. Everybody standing there felt that way. Even the coroner's office, I could sense that they were treating this like they were dead people, and they are dead people. That's the way everybody treated it. Evidently, the ACLU doesn't feel that way.
So, yeah, one of the most disturbing stories I've ever heard, and it shows the true gruesome, nasty nature of that industry and the practice of it in general. I don't know. I hate the concept of people telling me that I cannot speak on this because it's me trying to control a woman's body, but we're the people that fought for women's suffrages, whatever it's called, or, you know, the Civil Rights Act. Were they all black? Were they all women at that moment? It doesn't make any sense, because I'm not fighting for the women. At that moment, when that baby's in that belly, I'm fighting for that baby. Because they're the only, we talk about all of us not being equal and stuff and being able to have the rights in this country. Everybody has that now, besides this one class of people, babies that are in the stomachs of women. We think that it's okay at that moment to just rip them apart and throw them away. I'm not going to say that this is a common practice, that you're going to find a bunch of cargo containers filled with babies. But one's too many, right? That's what they say about the whole gun thing. But I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. It's definitely a very touchy subject, but it's one that we need to speak on with clarity in this country, and not try to act like it's just a little thing. It's a life. So y'all have a good day.